is a horror film.
I
That's
invited
true.
Mike Henniger up on stage. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike, how are you, baby?
Hi, how are you? It's been a minute. How are you doing?
Such a loaded question, and
Well,
not
I
the
mean,
fun kind of loads that I'm used to.
I know. I mean, obviously, I have your number still, but I didn't want to like text you when everything was going down, just because I'm sure you were dealing with a lot. But um, I hope things have like calmed down and things are like kind of back to normal for you at least.
Well, they'll never be back to normal. That's the most fucked up part. Like everybody else gets to move on with their life, but any person who's ever with me from now on has to deal with the stigma of who I am, and there's that. But I'm making the most of it.
I relate.
Right? Yeah,
The
you get it.
stigma of being with Perez Hilton, it's similar.
Yeah, that's true. Except to my knowledge, anybody that sleeps with you is not Eskimo brothers with Trump.
Oh, well, that's a valid point. Whenever Mario comes, or sorry, whenever Perez comes back to Vegas, if you're in town, we have to have dinner. We have to like catch up. It's been so long.
I know. Are you still in Vegas? What are you doing these days?
I am. I'm still in Vegas, and I still work for the same company. I've been with them for obviously a long time. My job is like branched out now. So I'm doing a lot more. Obviously, things have changed since the pandemic, but I'm still employed, and I
Thank
do a
God.
few things. Yes, and I do a few things on the side here and there. But yeah, everything is good. I'm still single, but besides that, all is well.
Awesome.
Um,
I'm actually thinking
yes.
about moving back to Vegas.
Yeah, you should. I mean, the housing market is like kind of insane right now. There's literally like there's not really hardly any inventory. Like everybody's leaving California and like coming here.
I know. That's why it's difficult to find a place.
I love
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah, but it's insane. Like literally, like people, like every realtor friend of mine is like crazy busy just because people are leaving LA and San Francisco and Seattle, and they're all coming to Vegas because so many people are like working remote now that they don't have to be at the office anymore.
Right. Well, let's make plans. You know what, Mikey? I gotta tell you, I just found out earlier today that my birthday weekend is canceled, postponed. Nothing to do with me. It was the location had an incident and they have to postpone it. But maybe I'll come to Vegas the weekend of my birthday in 2 weeks.
Yeah, fun. Let me know. Like, I would love to. We can definitely like have dinner for sure. I'd love to catch up. Absolutely.
Awesome. It's a date.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to finish getting ready for bed, but I'm glad that we got to catch up.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Hugs. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
So I have a question actually. What is the, because I've obviously seen you like online talking about this. So what is the Spooky Babe Show exactly? Because I don't know.
Okay, so Spooky Babe Show is my paranormal investigation show. It started because 2 years ago I moved into a house in New Orleans. It was super haunted. I was dating a guy at the time, and the house clearly did not like him, and all this weird stuff started happening. And he lasted about 5 weeks, and he moved out. And I started to think I was going crazy. He obviously accused me of being crazy. But anything that you can imagine happening in a house was happening in this house. And yes, it's New Orleans. Yes, I'm from here. Yes, I know all the houses are haunted. Yes, I've had crazy paranormal experiences my whole life. But this was literally like throwing gasoline on the fire. I mean, stuff would get moved. There was like knocking voices. My boyfriend's guitar just broke in half for no reason. Shadow figures. There was like blood running down the walls in one of the rooms one time. Justin, is my co-host on the show, or my co-star on the show, had got attacked in a downstairs bathroom. My dog was growling. I mean, just anything, all that cliche stuff that you see in these shows was happening. And I actually made a list one day, and 22 people stepped foot in that house the year that I lived there, and 21 of them had pretty significant paranormal experiences. And my ex insisted that I was crazy and making it up and whatever. So I put cameras in the house and started catching unexplainable things on film. And Justin had an experience in the bathroom, and he was my best friend and said, you know, if nobody will help you, let's just do it ourselves. So we started the show called Spooky Babes. And I really just thought we'd do 1 or 2 places just so I could be a petty bitch and tell my ex that he was full of shit and I was not crazy and I was right. But things just kept intensifying, and we started gathering more and more evidence, and then people started coming forward and saying like this happened to them, and people thought they were crazy. And next thing you know, it's been a year and we've been living on a bus chasing ghosts.
Oh my God, that is crazy. So have you
Hell
been have you been to the Haunted Museum in Vegas yet?
Yes. So Justin and I were there in December. Zach hit me up on Twitter and invited us to come. He was extremely generous. He gave us, you know, he comped us VIP tickets, and we had a private tour, and we got to go down in the basement with just me and Justin, and, you know, got to stay alone in the room with the divot box. Like even the tour guide stepped out. Like we were treated, he gave us free t-shirts, you know, all this stuff. And I will tell you that we weren't filming an episode there. Obviously it's Zach's museum, but the museum in Vegas and the Conjuring House are the 2 most intense places I've ever been to. That was just the museum.
Yeah, no, like I didn't mean no. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you. I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I have to tell you. So I went and he gave us the tour, and actually, as soon as I stepped in the building, like I felt the intenseness of the energy in there, and he had these like crucifixes that were like on the wall, and he said that they had like been blessed, and I was like, do you mind if I wear one? And he's like, no, you can wear it. So I literally wore this crucifix throughout the entire house, just because as soon as I stepped in there, I had like I kind of like a, definitely felt all of that. And going in there and doing the tour, while it is, like, I will say this, it is an amazing experience. Everything that he has put together, it's like a maze, and everything that he has done and the amount of work that they put into it, it's really something that you should see. That being said, I definitely could never go back in there again, ever. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I didn't sleep for like 3 nights, and I see an energy therapist. She's like half Reiki, half intuitive. And the funny thing is that, and this is all my life. So the next week, I already had an appointment with her. And so I walk into the appointment, and she immediately was like, "Where did you go?" And I was like, she's like, "What's going on? Did you go somewhere?" And I was like, well, I went to that haunted museum. And she was like, no, 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 no. And so basically she did like a bunch of energy work on me, and she was like, you had so much stuff attached to you. It was crazy. And so yeah, like it's a really an amazing thing, but I just personally will never be able to go back.
Yeah, no, I feel that. We walked out, and I mean, we were there. Justin, how long were we there? Like 2.5 hours?
About 3 hours.
Yeah, and it felt like I mean, it was exhausting. And I know we were halfway through the tour, and it was just, me and him. And they come running up and said that when we were down in the basement, they checked the footage, and they got, the thing saying his name. And I said at one point we were walking through, and I kept looking over my shoulder, and Justin's used to me picking up on things and my behaviors. And finally he was like, "What's going on, Storm?" And I was like, "We're being followed." And the tour guide immediately stopped and, was talking to the other person. They're like, "Well, what did you see?" And I know that they were trying to trick me at first, because they're like, "Oh, in this area, people see this, see something a lot. Was it a little girl in a white dress?" And I was like, "No, not at all." Because they were probably expecting me to go, "Oh my God, that's totally what it was." And I was like, "No, it's not human. It looks like this." I described it. The lady, the chick's face like got super serious, and she went around the corner and got somebody else. And they were like, "How did you know that? You were totally right. That is in this area. It's this." And then, we went, what was like 10 minutes later, we went in another room, and I saw that thing in a video. right?
Yeah, it was at the Dubik Box Room.
Yeah.
Dubik Box Room.
Yeah, so we continue the tour, and then we go into a room and they show the video. And the thing I saw following us, I saw in a video in that next room. I'd never seen it before. So I was fucking spot on, and it was terrifying because it looked like almost like a cross between like a wild hog and like it was terrifying, and it wasn't human, and it was definitely stalking us.
Dude, that is gnarly. Yeah, I got a lot of like just icky, like my I started to get like goosebumps when we went into the basement.
Yep.
The room with the box in it, I don't even like to say the name, but the room with the box in it didn't really so much bother me all that much. It was more the basement, and then when they had everything from that house in Indiana, that really bothered me a lot.
Yes. And so that house, that documentary Demon House, is that right, Justin? Demon House? So that documentary is, I just happened to start watching it one day. It came on like Netflix. It was, the beginning of quarantine, and I just finished binge watching Tiger King, and I had nothing else to watch. And I started watching that. And that documentary is what convinced me that I was absolutely 100% not crazy, because I had never seen that documentary. I'd never seen, I didn't know who Zach was before I started doing this stuff. And all the stuff that happens in that documentary is exactly what happens in my house, right down to the specific eye condition that Zach has now, and that he has to wear prism glasses. My ex did not wear glasses the entire first year we were together. And by the time he moved out of the house, he had prism glasses on 24/7, and just recently had eye surgery. But everything else, you know how the guy went to the doctor because he had like the mass in his head and was bleeding from the eyes and the ears unexplainably? That happened to me in my house.
Yeah, so I never watched the documentary. When we went there, the documentary wasn't out, but I knew that he was making it, and I asked him about it, and he was like, "Oh, how'd you know about it?" And I was like, "Oh, I've kind of been following it." And I was honest with him. I was like, I don't really watch the show, but I heard about the story on TMZ, and then I saw that you had like bought the house, so I've just been kind of following the story. I was like, "When is it coming out?" He was like, "Oh, it should be soon," but I haven't watched it just because after I went to the museum, I just did not want to invite any more of I didn't want to invite any more of that energy around, just because I was like, okay, I definitely can't go back here again, and I don't want to. Plus I live alone, so like, and I didn't sleep for 3 nights after that. I was like, I can't handle it.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's probably collectively the most intense place I've ever been, but we didn't do an actual investigation there. So when we were asked what's the craziest place we've ever investigated, we always say the Conjuring House.
Oh, that's gnarly. Yeah, I definitely don't think I could handle that, but well, that's really cool. That's definitely cool. I will definitely I definitely want to listen to watch some of the episodes and stuff like that for sure. I'll catch up on it. But
you can go to our YouTube, which is Spooky Babe Show, and watch our 6-minute sizzle trailer that we just released yesterday.
Oh, rad! And then, are you doing CBD? I'm reading this now.
Yeah. So Sarah can tell you a bit about that. We have a CBD line coming out. This is our soft launch. I like it because I had some positive experiences with it, healing a back injury I got from falling off my horse, and some other issues that I had going on. And I, hand in hand with the paranormal stuff, you watch these other shows and there's really no follow-up care. You never know what happens to the people after they leave, but there's residual trauma. Even if you debunk everything in somebody's house and you're like, bitch, your house ain't haunted, you have bad pipes, they still have the trauma of being afraid. And a lot of times these people go to psychiatrists and whatever, and CBD is not an alternative or whatever to seeing actual medical advice, but some people are actually fucking crazy and they need a psychiatrist. But a lot of times, like me, you're not crazy and you can't sleep, and they want to prescribe all these pharmaceutical drugs to you, and they do more harm. So I always thought of CBD as an alternative to helping people. And I was so excited when Sarah approached me and wanted to do this, because I wanted to incorporate healing things into our paranormal show, how to teach people how to do Reiki, or how to, do meditation and yoga and equine therapy. We have a Reiki master on our team. Justin's going to go and get his Reiki stuff, and just all this alternative medicine, and instead of running straight to get Ambien, that, which obviously has some crazy side effects.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's so cool that you're doing that. So actually, it's actually a perfect time. Like, so for me, I've been sober for 8 years, and I've always seen CBD, but I've always just immediately said no to it and said, I can't do that. I'm sober, blah, 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 blah. Well, when I actually educated myself on the different kinds of CBD, and I didn't realize that there was CBD without marijuana in it until they started selling it at like Whole Foods, and it was like over the counter. So
Right.
I tried like two different brands to help me sleep, and it really didn't do anything. And then I recently have been using this brand called Highline Wellness that a friend of mine recommended to me. And I've been using that, and it does wonders for me to be able to sleep. Like, it doesn't knock me out. It's not like NyQuil. It just kind of eases me into sleep. And then I wake up, I sleep through the night. And then if I get up to go pee, I can go right back to sleep. And then when I wake up in the morning, like, I'm not groggy. So
Right.
I really, it's a great quality.
And you know what
That's-
that is? I'm in cannabis. All I do is move cannabis around the world. So what that is in the CBD is they're giving you enough milligrams to relax you, but a lot of people. So you've got all these corporations who put in like too little CBD or too much CBD. So the cool thing about her brand is it's all FDA, and it's got the needed CBD. So the gummies coming out in April for Stormy are freaking amazing, and they're going to give the same kind of effect. I gave them to my 70-year-old mother after my brother passed, and she went from not being able to sleep and freaking out to just being able to relax, which is a very hard time to relax during. So we're really excited about the brand. It's coming out in April, but we are releasing the pre-rolls right now at cost just for testimonials. So we have some steam going when we actually launch the brand. And you guys can go to my bio and see everything Stormy's doing, and check it out, please. She's been killing herself going around the country everywhere, just doing a Spooky Babe show. She's she's even met the farmers who grew the stuff that we have pre-rolled for her. So she's very hands-on, and we're just really excited to launch the brand.
That's awesome. No, I'm 100%. I'm absolutely going to try it. And I'm actually in the bath, so I'm going to I'm going to exit because I've been taking up everybody else's time. But please let me know if you decide to come to Vegas so that we can catch up. And congrats on everything. And it's great to hear your voice again. And bye, everybody. It was nice to be a part of this room.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, I know we've got a few questions. We've had some people waiting patiently and then dropping off and dropping on. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. I'm going to throw someone in the room with you, and then we'll just take questions one at a time if you guys are ready.
And I didn't forget you, Katie. I actually did pull your cards, but then the reading got convoluted because Perez jumped on and we got distracted. So
do you want to do that now? Because
I need to I would have to reset, and basically I'd have to go silent for like 10 or 15 minutes to do this.
Okay,
right.
Then why don't we just do that on Instagram? You guys can hook up. Katie, just DM Stormy. She's super good at getting back to you. And I'm gonna throw Brian in the room. He's got a question for you.
Okay.